Hello there everyone, Sam McPhee, and welcome back to a bit more Factorio Space Age, where I have wheels. Yeah, that's just doing some off-camera stuff again, dealing with local biter bases. Nothing spectacular to report, honestly. There's only a couple of bases I even hit. Mostly I've just been exploring and doing a little bit more outpost establishing, so I've got a decent map of the local terrain. So if I zoom out, you can see what I've got. And as you can see, I've also played it long enough to let the radars more or less map things out. They're still kind of working a little bit up here, but I now know where there's a lot of resources. I know where the choke points are in the terrain, so I can actually decide where I want to put the limits of this base. I also know there's many biter nests out here. Some of them pretty darn big. I'm not ready to deal with that kind of stuff. But yeah, my knowledge of the terrain has grown expensively. Though that said, we have a slight issue going on, which is 23,000 iron ore. So, first order of business, I think, is going to be a train. We do have our automated production set up for buildings. As I mentioned, I just jammed this in last time, so this is now ticking over. It's producing, like, all the basic building types, just off the resources. I mentioned this wouldn't be super interesting, but I'm showing you here now. This is just to produce all of the logistics chests when it cops in, because there's 5 different kinds, and they're all based on steel chests. I also admit to a slight mistake last time. I said I was making wooden chests and just throw them into the furnace when I'm done with them. I forgot that was actually something from a mod. From a few times I've played slightly modded on this game. In base game you can't actually do that, so wooden chests can't be burned, but I can still get rid of them later. But if we move along, just like all refineries, production of belts and things, some extra belt production just ready to replace because I've got a lot of yellow belts installed, but I need iron. So nearest iron deposit is this one up here, 8.8 million. I've laid things out ready, as you can see, so this is all good to go. It's even a small radar outpost nearby. But this distance, I don't really want to track it with belts, so I'm going to be putting in rails. As I said, it's probably going to be a simple two-headed train, I think, is what I'm going to do first off to get things out there. And then when I upgrade the stations on this end, when these deposits mine out, the station will be in this area here. That's my thought. Next thing I want to do, though, is once I've got that sorted out, I want to actually bootstrap and get chemical-based science producing, which means I need oil refining and such kicking off, which is going to be starting down here. I think maybe turn this into an oil refinery down this area here, which of course includes some deforestation. But that's my general plan, honestly. Also, yeah, this copper patch I've got ready to go over here, but this one is still going just fine. There's also another coal patch over here marked out ready, but I think this one I'll just connect by belts to the main bus area, because this one is starting to mine down a bit, but it's not quite there yet, but it's pretty close by, so yeah, just belt that one in, I think. Or just train it, so see how it goes, because I'm not anticipating needing it just yet, but yeah, first things first. Trains. Now where the heck did I put the engines and things? I do have track production going. Here's the engines and stuff. Let's put 2, because I want a double header. Or should I start as I mean to go on? No, this will do for now. Let's get... Yeah, just do something basic for the time being, and I'll upgrade it later. Me and my temporary designs. Now, where did I put tracks? Oh, they're over here. Yeah, here we go. I am a very careful driver, as you can see. Oh, don't say that, I drive into some trees. Of course. I am just popping down here because I mentioned there's some bootstrapping going to happen, and honestly, that's because I need to do some chemical science to get access to, as you're probably aware, the better oil refining, and I'm just slamming that in down here as a temporary measure. So I need copper and that. Okay. So yeah, that's all this is going to do. It's going to produce what I need. In theory, anyway. That's straight oil, that's okay. That's petrol and gas, that's okay. That's water, which I'll just plug in down here. So I did bring a pump out with me. But yeah, I'm just out doing this first. Because my base only had like 100 miners in reserve, and I need 160 miners to build out that iron deposit up there. So I'm actually just going to get this cooking in the meantime to produce for me 80 chemical science. At least that's my plan. Why 80 chemical science? Well, that's because I need 75 to get advanced oil processing, and then I can actually get a proper refinery set up doing what I want it to be doing, and then I won't need to bother with it anymore. So I'm just going to whack this stuff in down here. You are making those. Plastic and circuit boards, okay. But yeah, nothing really to see here, just another bodged little factory going together. There's no repairs here. Don't know what you're talking about. I didn't hit the power pole with my car. Not at all. Anyway, yeah, 164 electric drills needed out here. So, yeah, let's get started. I can't wait to get bots, honestly. When I get the bots going, I won't need to do all this by hand. But I am being a bit of a silly billy, and I am getting this stuff going manually. Just because, well, honestly, this map gen did mess me up a little bit. It did start me off with some very small starting resource pockets, so yeah, it actually mined out a lot sooner than I was actually expecting. Let's trim these down ever so slightly and do the necessary bits of removal. Yeah, so this will be fully functional. It won't be able to actually export at full rate because, you know, we don't have a full-fledged train and stuff going, but it will do the job. It will keep the base ticking over until we get that initial patch fully mined out, and then I'll be redoing the lines a bit by that point. In theory, anyway. I want a status report. Oil refinery, how are you doing? You have made 36. Okay, you're nearly halfway there. Excellent. Okay, here we go. Switch on time. We have got ourselves one last power pole to go out, which I'll place up here, since it does need to tie into the main thing. That's all mines firing. Most excellent. The rail has already been laid. Everything's set out. And honestly, that took about the time I was expecting it. So the bootstrapping, I believe, is now ready. Yeah, 80 points there and going. As noted, this is a temporary station, so it's only got like 2 slots of storage in these chests. But there's a rudimentary splitter here. I mean, it's not the best splitter, I know, because there's 6 belts worth of output here. But here comes the train. Also, this is not a final station design either, which is why I've built it down here instead of over to the left side. Because what I'm waiting on is stacking inserters. But that requires red circuits. Also, this guy's only going to hang around for about a minute, but it is doing a very good job getting loaded, actually, with just the blue inserters. So that's okay. That's okay. And then that'll feed back over into the main base, which, by the way, has dwindled to a total of 14k. But I've got priority loading set so that all this is now into one belt, feeding into the main splitter array. This will prioritize anything coming through from the original mines. All well and good. And yeah, this train is about ready. I'll just hop on. And this will take us back where we want to go. And yes, I got into the rear train. Oh. This track layout will also be pulled up because, well, I'm going to integrate it with the power lines. I've got those set out as a blueprint ready to go, but it's like, maybe I should just wait until I got bots and then integrate it with the assembly, with the row reports and things. That might be an idea as well. But yeah, this one's set to wait here until it's empty and then it'll go off again. So there's no real storage here. Again, temporary station, but it'll work at the very least. Now I just need to set back down my car, and we can head off down to get ourselves some science. Some sweet, sweet science. And yes, I had guns on me while I was out there doing all the exploration stuff because, well, yeah, we did kind of actually need it. We had to fight some biters off when we wandered too close to bases and things like that, but I didn't really use it in base assaults. Because quite honestly, it's more effective for me to do that by hand and with turrets than it is to use this car. This car is not a combat unit, it's an exploration unit. Oops. I will be doing some... As I said, very careful drive. I will be setting down some roads when this area gets properly built out, but it's like, right now I'm only here to get the spoils of my production. 80 sweet, sweet chemicals. There's also some random red science which is just being manufactured, some random plastic dotted around the place as well, but it's like, this area's not going to hold very much. And I did oversash on everything except for the engines required for the science, so the engines I used to control exactly how much I'd get out of it. But yeah, that entire setup was basically served its purpose. I'm going to let it chew and make a bit more red circuits, but that's about it. For now, I need to get the science done, and then it's time for a proper oil refinery. Oh, there was actually a comment on Discord. Yeah, you saw nothing. You saw nothing. Tanya commented that one of the reasons why they like to stick with Factorio is because they expand and expand and grow, and then it's like then they get some piece of tech which means to integrate that tech into the existing factory you need to tear everything down and start again for the most part. Well, actually, no. Tear down facilities and rebuild them. I don't quite play that way. I try to get facilities that are going to be useful slightly longer term, just because I kind of want to have, like... I want to make sure that I'm going to be keeping my facility going, at least in the longer term. Yeah, there we go. Get some science flow. So yeah, that's why I tend to build like this stuff. Like, I want it to last a bit. This facility is going to be just fine for my science needs for a considerable time being. The only thing that needs upgrading really is the belts, but I'm already gearing up to be able to do that. This facility again will last as long as I want it to, because, well, it's got the 6 belts and 6 access ports needed to get 12 science packs, so this is all future-proof. This is all I'll need. I can expand it as I need to, and then that's kind of done, except for belt upgrades. This is, by the way, something I didn't show, but something I've had churning away off camera. But this is the facility which has made all of my concrete, so paving is now a full option. With the oil refinery, we are going to be able to pave it properly as well. We've produced a massive stockpile of like 4,000 concrete and reinforced concrete, and then about 2,000 of the hazard stripe varieties of both. And then of course we've also got the brick stockpile down near the smeltery stacks as well. So that's going to be a thing too. Maybe I should just have up here as well, so that all the surface types are from this one location. I mean, this does require bricks as one of its inputs, but it's like, it's only got like a single belt and then go to half belts. Mind you, the smelter only makes a single belt anyway. But yeah, there it is. Advanced science. Ha! We can now crack oil down into its basic components. We can do heavy cracking and light cracking. We can make solid fuel. Ah, glorious things. But with that, I am now willing to commit to making a full-bore refinery. And that is next on the cards, getting a refinery set up. Also paving, because, as I said, we now have that stuff ready to go. So yeah. Anyway, I'll catch you in a bit once we've got that sorted out. Yeah, the biters are getting slightly uppity, so I'm just trying to deal with this. But that said, I am kind of getting into the territory now. It's like I've got medium worms at 500 a pop versus the smalls I've dealt with so to this point, which are 200. It's just like, yeah, I need to be a bit more careful. But yeah, it just spawned right over here, right next to my base. There's also a couple. Well, those haven't really moved, but this one just popped up. But as you can see, planning is going apace down there. I spent hours on that. I'm actually considering taking a break just to play something else. Ooh. But yeah. Things in my testing game, clusters like worms like this, sure I could deal with it, but I did that by having a tank and a heavy cannon and stuff like that. So it's like, you know, without those things, I'm not quite sure how much I want to do with, well, how much I want to do with the medium worms, because, well, if I can neuter the biter spawning, that's all I want. See, the mediums can actually reach me out here for the most part. Though I will be content, I think, just to take out the spider spawning options, and then I'll leave the worms be. Sure, they'll still cut some pollution, but it's like... Yeah. Yeah, let's just get the production down. Oh, I'm definitely within range to try and do that. Go away. Large biters, I need the turrets for. Large biters, I need the turrets because it's like I can't really. Yeah. Ah, perfect. This is the spot I need. I can just about do it. There we go. Biter problem kinda dealt with, but I'll have to clear out the worms later. Okay. Last bit before I wander off to go and do something else. I mentioned it a few moments ago for you, an hour or so ago for me. It's like, yeah. What can I say? This game, when I'm trying to do something, I'm trying to do something. Anyway, this is probably going to be the first Factorio episode. We are splitting recording sessions up because otherwise, I've got like hours and hours of me just like going back and forth doing whatever. Anyway, plug this in. We have now got ourselves sulfur production. Yes. And if I kick these pumps in to just make sure everything keeps ticking over, all good. Sulfur is starting to move. And if I flip this over, we have coal. Coal is flowing in to start to feed into these, which will produce plastic. I've just realised no load balancer on the output there. Let's just jam it in there. Yeah, that'll do it. Okay, right. Sorted. Anyway, so you can see what we've got going on here. We've got the sulfur processing line. We've got the plastic processing line starting to go in as well. So this is the refinery area. Sorry, this is the refinery. This is the production area of the new facility which is going in. I've just wandered past my little car here. The pumps I've put in place over here are because there is actually a physical limit on how big a system can be, but as you can see, these pipes are chock full of delicious resources. Yes. And these pumps split the pipe networks into separate pieces. So this side here has got 122 pieces, this side's got I don't know why it's saying pipe extent is the same, but it shouldn't be the same. That's pipe extent 1. Well, actually, this says 122, but it's like a whole bunch of other pipes and things. Did I plug it in somewhere else? Oh, I built another connection in here. I'm being silly. Yeah, there it is. There we go. Now it's separated. But it's just the refinery area is actually set up to be on a separate network to its intakes and its outflows, just to make sure that it can, it can't grow too big, and so the pipes refuse to work anymore, because that's what happens if you hit your pipe limit. It actually refuses to work. And yeah, just getting those pipes in there. And to get these functioning, I need to actually plug into the water supply, which is all the way down this line here. I'll get to that when I get to it, honestly. Not doing that right now because it's not a factor right now. So, there is some kind of cabling going on around here. Yes. And I feel like you should be set to that. You should be... Yeah, you're set correctly. Okay, so... These 3 storage tanks are being read for how much is stored in them. These then control these pumps, which will feed the material down into the crackers. So this is the cracking section of the refinery facility. Worth noting is there is no current output. That's right, yeah, I ran out of these. There we go, fixed. That's now connected up properly. But these things are actually plugged into some combinators to do a check, and this is how it's set to work. There are 2 sets of AND conditions, and it'll engage the pumps if one of those AND conditions is met. One of them is geared towards like maintaining 10,000 in the tank of light oil, while this one will try to kick in if there's less than 10,000 petroleum gas. So this is the low ebb one, like if there's not enough petroleum gas in the network upstream, this one will kick on. Then this one is if light oil is greater than 20k and petroleum gas is less than 20k, this one will kick on if there's too much light oil to try and dump. Oh, there you go, it just kicked in there. It's trying to produce it. It can't produce it because it's not got a water source. But that is a thing it's trying to do. It is actually trying to feed through. Or it should be. Oh, this one's meant to be greater than 0. Yes. Or output 1. That pump should be enabled. Oh, greater than 0. There we go. Oops. There we go. Right, yeah, that's working now. Apart from that's not got water. So that's trickled down because the pumps are starting to read a drop in petroleum because we are producing a whole bunch of stuff. So moving on. Ignore that. Down here we have more stuff, and this is part of why I spent so long going around. I've been actually like paving and decorating as I've been going as well. These are more mass storage tanks which are going to be holding on. Refineries set for advanced oil processing because, we're going to keep on doing that. But this is the extent of the facility at the moment. So yeah, I did say I was going to turn this anyway. I've kind of wedged it into this cliff over here as well for the extra storage sites. But this over here is the water source. It's connecting all the water into the refineries. Pathing is its brick base layer on the ground. Then it's concrete for actual walkway access, hazard markings around hazard areas like going into more dangerous areas or machinery near the roadway. The roadway is made of reinforced concrete. And then these are actually some more localized storage tanks. So the ones up there are just for the logic to read it. So this is ticking down, but the refineries aren't working because it's full of light oil. But there's still decent amounts in stock, and there's, as you saw, more there. Then if we head out this way, this is the facility, which is just our oil source working, honestly. So it's just like, we've got plenty of oil in the local storage. and it's just like ticking away. What can I say? I knew I was trying to make a longer lasting facility, and this is kind of what I got set out. There's something I will show you real quick if we wander off this way. It's not been laid in yet because, you know, pipes, and I want to do something else right now. This is going to be the burn-off facility. So if one of the 3 storages hits maximum pressure, then these will kick in once I've got them built, and it'll just like, this one will convert solid fuel out of petroleum gas, this will convert it out of light oil, this will convert it out of heavy oil up here, and it's priority merging is the intention, so that because petroleum gas is like the one that absolutely stops it, that's the one that is going to burn up first, but it shouldn't be operating much at all, honestly. As I said, it only kicks in if a storage is going to be full. That's the plan. So if it's full, then the refineries stop, and in particular that's petroleum gas. But I plan to be converting solid fuel out of like light oil and stuff as well. So that's all that. So let's go back and show you other things that I've been doing. So we have got ourselves a belt connection. I've relayed the power connection down this way to... Come on, give me it straight, please. Thank you. Power connection's a bit straighter. Whoops, missed a bit one there. Thank you. As I mentioned, the train station was very temporary because the road... Well, look where I put that iron ore train station. Right across where I decided to put the road afterwards. So, yeah, that's a thing. But we got plastic flowing. Very good. It seems to have jammed. So I think there was something else I wanted to show on the turnkey side of things. Either that or I've had a production failure. But let's head down here without steering off the road. Yeah. So, another new facility down here. Okay, I just didn't finish hooking it up. Okay. So, also apparently I got reversed a piece of belt. Whoops. So, new tileable red circuit facility. This is balanced around being as compact as it can be, with this being the deciding factor, the 3:2 for copper coils into green circuit. Then that'll feed these red circuits at even consumption rates, and then these two are what's needed for these red circuit factories to keep up with this green circuit production. So that's that. This entire thing can be copied and just stamped up. You can see there's lines on the end here, which are set ready to go. And yeah, that's I actually have red circuits ready to get on the belt. Now this by itself will not produce a whole belt of output. This is like ticking over by itself. It's intended to be more. It's intended to be have more of these just like stamped on to get the production rate up. But right now it's just like stampy. We will eventually hit the limits of what our belts can do, but remember we are planning to upgrade to red belts in the very near future. But for now, we actually have red circuits on the belt now. Whoopee! Progress! Now, slight confession here. This is not the only red circuit facility now in operation. There is another one that's about ready to go. Yes. Which is the next step in all of this chemical malarkey. Plastic and sulfur are heading north towards the research complex. Let's just follow these guys up. Plastic is peeling off here. Very good, yeah. Well, we'll join the system here. So, red circuit facility. Currently quite busy churning out red circuits. Very tasty, very tasty. Red circuits are being balanced and loaded in. This is the green circuit and just playing out copper coil production. Yeah, there's only like 3 3 green circuits, but that's all you need to keep up with this level of factories. This is not 100% optimized in terms of its ratios for production, just so you know, and that's because it's not being judged by this. But yeah, we'll move on. We've actually got a new engine facility up here as well, having pipes and gears going to engines. You can see it's all backed up. This is actually the section that is running the longest because the materials to get it weren't depending on the oil refinery down south. This one is ticking over okay with just iron and steel for input, so this is doing it. But that is because this is what those two systems are balanced against. A full bank of chemistry science. There we go. We have blue science. Oh, sweet, sweet science. And this is also judged, by the way, in terms of production rate versus the others. So this is the existing stuff here. Military science, which is all that. Green science is that. Red science is just that. And then all of that is the blue science. It needs more lights, I can see from a glance, but it's like, yeah. So, yeah, about half again the factory space just to produce one science out there because I was making it in sites rather than dedicating production elsewhere. Don't get me wrong, I mean, it's it does keep things going, but it's does kind of need rebalancing it every time you do it as well, unless you have a blueprint handy, which I didn't, so this is all freshly done. But yeah, blue science. Science type number 4 is now available on the main research bus. Most excellent. Now, what technology do you think I am going to make a beeline for? I don't know. We've got the new belts, there's new weaponry, there is a missile launcher that looks good. Yeah, that looks... no. Construction bots are my priority, which means electric motors, which means robotics. Thing is, we need electric motors for some other stuff, so that'll have its own production facility. Lube is going to be made down in the chemical refining area, because that's just like heavy oil conversion. But this is the plan. So, start research, NQ, NQ, yes. And that actually puts us within spitting distance of another research type, utility science, which is one that I've never actually fully automated. I didn't actually do this in my test game. I didn't even do this much in my test game previously. I botched together red circuit, and then everything else was just like a few temporary facilities slammed in together wherever they would fit, and my test game suffered massively for it. But yeah, if we have a look, yellow science wants processing units, flying robot frames, and low density structures. So it requires a few bits and bobs to put together. There is another science pack on this planet as well, but this is one of them, utility science. I'll also pick up blue circuits as well. We are in an area where we can probably try and deal with some of that. But with blue, we can start to get some more stuff, which is also important. Also, I suspect logistics would be a good idea as well. It would give us logistics to less trash and stuff like that, so that would, yeah. But in my test game, basically, I crashed through as fast as I could to get to Rocket Silo, and then I flew off planet without really solidifying things because I wanted to try the spaceships. You know, me, I Mark III, space. Yeah. So that was a slight mistake. Okay, that was a huge mistake. My first spaceship actually got torn apart. If you want, I'll actually show you what's left of it in my other save file. But yeah, it didn't work very well. This time, I'm actually going to set up proper industry before we get started. most definitely. But yeah, this is all now starting to run. Now, the question is, how well is it all coping? Because one flaw with all this is... I've actually managed to block off half of the things. There we go. One flaw with all this is it's still running on yellow belts. The yellow belt throughput might not be enough for some of this. So yeah, this might not hit full production until we hit red belts, honestly. But that's okay. Actually, no. This is why I had copper coils on both sides of the belt, because it's like the heaviest thing that needs to come through. But yeah, that's actually this is looking alright. Not quite there yet in terms of production. I would have got the numbers slightly wrong. Don't think I did. Ooh. Look how fast the technology is going now that I've got this facility online. Big question though, how's the pollution cloud doing? Oh, that's getting close to some bases up there. I need tanks, actually. I should have gone for that first. Tank. No, not rank. Tank. There it is. Military science, which will give us the combat shotgun. Never used it. Slowdown capsules and poison capsules. Never used those either. I think in my test game I actually went straight for tanks, but yeah, a tank with these piercing cannon shells, so they may be the basic shells available, but they are excellent for picking off bases and worms and stuff like that, so yeah. It's all good. In fact, I favour them over the explosive cannon shells. Yeah. Yeah, let's get that as a priority. It's nice to see research moving again, though, must admit. Dang it. I knew this was going to happen. With increased activity comes greater risk of nibblies. I've already been out this way once to kill a single base. Nope, stay away. Thank you. Good thing I have plenty of ammo in this guy. But there's the problem. Oops. We got the big boys coming out now. And they are resistant to physical. Oh, stay away. Thank you. Yeah, I've got a lot of wreckage left to clear here. But yeah, the fact we got the big guys coming in is a problem. I need a tank. I very much need a tank. I can't skip. See what I mean? There's multiple bases now within range of my pollution cloud because everything's activated. I need to fix things. In fact, I'm going to pop down a bank of turrets and jam some ammo into it, and that's going to be my defense because I got to get up there and save the other mining section. Oh, help I put. That took me all my ammo reserve I had on me. Oh, I have got walls as well, actually. Thing is, yeah, I don't have all the materials I need, but I need to get a tank rolling. I was actually planning to wait until I had more materials, particularly blue circuits, available to, properly fit it out. I want the energy shield, ideally. I think I can scrape together that a little bit, but I'm out of time to do that. I don't mean time recording that. This is a new recording session, but the biters are getting uppity. The natives are restless. I need to deal with the situation. At least the one up there is only a couple of guys. Even so, a temporary... Whoops, there's a cliff there. There's temporary defense is what I need. But yeah, I actually updated that train, so that train is actually going flat out. So a new, bigger train would also be a really good thing to have. There we go. crash through a tree, gun blowing. Problem solved. Apart from all the broken stuff. Yep, it looks like the walls have indeed had some company. Oh, I forgot to put walls on these. Oh well, this was like less mild, but this one's like the bases are almost directly in the pollution cloud at this point. Ah, daytime. Solar's kicking back on. Most excellent. I just thought I'd show you very quickly that, yeah, this is what I've done. I've actually upgraded some of this stuff to red circuit just to offload the train faster when it gets down here. We need a proper station to handle this, really. But train comes in, and it's immediately just getting pulled out of there by a total of 8 stack inserters. So yeah, it's just tearing through it. As I said, I've stepped up throughput as best I can. The iron ore patch is actually gone now, completely. Even the coal sharing one is gone as well. It's just waiting for the stone patch to go, for the most part. But this is where the bus heading down towards the chemical plant is anyway, so that's going to live here. The only thing I'm lacking right now is batteries. I actually have got a tank. And I am producing... I'm trying to produce... yeah, I ran out of green. There we go. I'm trying to produce some munitions. Oh, I never actually fed you steel. There you go. Have some steel. But as you can see, it's very ad hoc. It's doing what it's doing. But I need batteries, which is... batteries, sulfuric acid, and copper and iron plate. Okay. Yeah, this, you can tell this isn't a permanent facility. This is very much a spur-of-the-moment facility. It is doing what it's doing just for the sake of doing what it's doing, and then it is going to grind to a halt, because that is what I need right now. Come on, come on, come on, come on. What am I doing? It's a chemical plant. I'm down here because it's a chemical plant. There we go. Okay. And you needed... not got much, but yeah. Just iron and steel. Make that. So, I have myself a fiendish thingy. I have myself a tank. I was seriously hoping to get my hands on a superior breed of tank. But, well... modules are going to have to wait for another episode, honestly, because right now what I need is an extermination drive. So I got myself ammo. That's one weapon system. I mentioned in the space game I was actually getting use out of all 3 weapon systems. This is actually a situation where I have never actually really relied on the tank very much. Combat scenario of Factorio I'd never really got into that much. Maybe I just peg things with a machine gun and think it was good, but no. In the testing game, I actually found very specific use cases for all 3 weapon systems included on the tank. As I approach the base, I pick it apart with the main tank cannon using kinetic rounds. While I'm doing that, I'm being chased around by biters, and the flamethrower is amazing, especially against the bigger biter variety types, because it's an energy-based attack, so that burns through them real well. And then, for any stragglers, like lighter biters or spitters, I switch to the machine gun and use that as a support weapon to pick off those guys because they don't have good defense, and so the machine gun is excellent at dealing with it. But that is what I am doing. 13 shells is pitiful, though. I need full-scale manufacturing, but I don't have it. 24, I'll take it. But yeah, I need to scrounge together the parts. These techs are actually incredibly cheap to get. They are super cheap to get. And all I needed was the materials, honestly. I mean, I dashed them out without a care. I mean, look. Basic battery. 15 science, honestly. The personal shielding stuff is only 15 of those guys. For the most basic shields, it's like This stuff is so easy to get access to. I mean, even the entry point for a lot of it is actually just the portable personal solar down here, which is 15 just red and green. Yeah, the big ask is really getting modular armor, and then that's it. I mean, I could grab power armor while I'm at it, but that needs electric motors, which I don't have yet, and I'm not going to get this episode. So, yeah. I just need enough ammo from this hodgepodge of a construction site, and then we'll go. I made a stack of that. I need a few more materials. Yeah, having this thing separated from the supply lines hurts. But at least it lets me explore my pathway and just run back and forth like I'm getting exercise or something. Yeah, that's it. Oh, thank you, train. Just as coming through. Another biter set. And this is why I'm getting the tank. This must stop. I really need to implement if they break it, they buy it. I'm sure that'll give them a pause for thought. Well, actually, probably not. Again, getting some unfortunate use of the nice-looking wreck graphics they've got, which we don't see that often if your base is working properly. Sadly. Which is a shame. Kind of wish there was actually a use case for that, but no. And there we go. That's it. It is what it is. What flame of fuel I've got, there's only a little bit spare of that. I've got plenty of coal reserves to run this thing on. I'll throw some in there, good for measure. And I'll give you access to what greens and reds I got. But what tank shells we've got? 83 rounds available. Right, we are still in the early stage, so that should be more than enough for a few bases. But it's not even a full stack, as you can see. So this is... yeah, we need a lot more stuff, honestly. I need to plug this into a production line and let it go, really. But it was a bit too urgent for that. So, bootstrapping is the way to go. Another 3 rounds here, another 7 canisters here. That, and we are ready. We have the tank. Aha. Right. And we have the perfect test target waiting, as I almost crash into my car. Whoops. We have the perfect test target waiting for us to come and clear them out. So let's just go and use that opportunity they've given us. I think you know who we're talking about. Oh, Mr. Train, you are good. Worth noting, by the way, we got shields. That is our current power storage capacity. It is slowly building up. But that will tank if our shields start taking hits. But yeah, our target are these worms, which I backed off from engaging earlier. So out of range. A few glancing hits don't care about. That purple bar is my shield recharging. And there we go. And that's why I love these kinetic rounds versus the explosive ones. These things, if they get the kill, they over-penetrate and they keep going. And if you're firing into bases, they even the big worms don't have good resistances, so they tear straight through them. And a couple of hits will usually take down a biter spawning base as well, like flat out. So they are plenty powerful for the initial shell type. I mean, this isn't even specially crafted, and it's got 1,000 physical damage and a small bit of explosive on top of that. So, yeah, base cannon is actually really good if you are able to place your shots. If you can't place your shots, like say you're on a multiplayer server and it's a bit laggy, so you have to be very careful with it, then maybe explosive would be a good idea, but it's like, well, I'm not sure. I've not actually played around with the explosive shells at all. Just because I use this as my building killer, and it is very good at killing buildings, as you shall see very shortly. Casual trees, casual rocks, I don't care. Okay, here we go, base. Now, my order of approach on a base with this is I start to circle. Yep, don't really care too much. Let them chase me. It means that, yeah, they're getting a bit riled up, just have to watch out for things like cliffs or things that could bring me to a halt. And then I start to pick off the base's worms and the base's buildings so they can stop spawning. Do have to duck and weave, so I'm not taking too much incoming damage, because that will tank my energy and I can still become quite vulnerable. They're getting a bit close, so flamethrower time. Flamethrower in particular is subject to server lag if you're in a multiplayer, so it's like, yeah, not as useful, but here it is perfect for what I wanted to do. And then, that's all that. A couple of big guys, melt them, yep. And then a couple of spitters, machine gun. And there we go. One base dealt with. And it is as easy as that once you actually get a tank rolling. When I get enough ammo for this guy, it's gonna be just fine for defensive purposes. Well, technically this is offense, I'm attacking them, but, you know, same difference. But, yeah. They do get more resistant to this stuff as their health pools grow bigger, but it's like not a massive problem. And this guy, unlike the car, this guy doesn't care about forest, he just goes straight through them. Just like that. It's rocks you have to watch out for, really. Yeah, see, flamethrower doesn't really do much to the actual nest themselves, but against the melee types, oh yeah. In fact, you can actually use it to clear forests as well. Yeah, that's those guys. Note, by the way, they haven't really broken my shield or my battery reserve, and this is all bog standard stuff. And yeah, that's what flamethrower does to a forest. It's one way to clear them. I'll say that for it. What are you guys doing here? Oh, very cheeky. Yep, there's that over-penetration at work. What can I say? I like the ammo efficiency. Now this one I do have to be a bit more careful with because there's a massive cliff in the way, so just circle back. Keep dodging because there's a lot of worms, and if this thing takes a lot of range hits, it slows down massively, so against spitters more so than the worms, but it's like if you get slowed down, then you get mobbed, then you die, so it's like you've got to keep moving. Oops. But I'm slowly whittling this base apart, but notice I'm taking a fair bit of shield damage from the spit on the ground as well. That is a concern. Right, that's enough nibbling for you guys. Off you go. Hey. Anyone else? We might be safe for the moment, actually. But I still have ammo. Enough for maybe one, maybe two more bases. And there we go. We are forced back to base. We are running a bit low on power because of all the splits we faced during that, but it's mainly because we're out of cannon ammo. You know, we've got some flame fuel and armor piercing to spare. It is the lack of cannon shells that's forcing me to go back more than anything else. But hey, the base is now safe and secure for the time being. This tank has done its job. But with that said though, it is also time to end. I wasn't planning to do much of a combat montage, to be honest, but that's kind of how the last part of this episode has shaked out, so there we are. Next time, we'll start getting into quality. What the hell happened to you? Oh, some of the damage is actually rather extensive, and my base is having a power shortage because of this. Well, a coal shortage. I didn't realise the damage was this severe. Ah well, just have to fix the missing poles and get the entire thing back online again. There we go. It had to be those two poles that went down, the ones that linked to the rest of the network. That hurts. Also shows I didn't check the repairs I need. But yeah, this has been iMark3. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed the show as I start patching things up. Feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Helps me, helps the channel, give me those virtual headbats I also crave. And I'll see you all some other time. Again, if there's anything you want to see me try to do, or like a direction you kind of want to see in the series, just let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, I'll see you all later. There's a power pole there. And belts.